Wow, Clarissa's really upset about her score. Come to think of it, a lot of my students didn't do so well on this test. Maybe there was something more I could have done. Kyle?
It's a rough-looking bunch, Teach. I haven't seen scores this low in a while. But don't worry. We're gonna go out there and train them. Drill them. Make them lean, mean, test-taking machines.
Are you talking about...
That's right. Content review games.
Welcome to Launch Your Classroom. I'm Kyle Pope. Repetition, you get it. But do your students? One of the biggest factors in determining how well your students can recall information is how often they've seen it and how often they've accessed it in their own memories. Teachers at times can put the burden of memorization completely onto the student. Other times, teachers fall back upon call and response or flashcards for review. Although the second method is a bit more effective, they both fail to create a meaningful and engaging way of retaining knowledge. Today on Launch Your Classroom, we're going to discuss the solution to this problem, content review games. We're going to talk about the science behind the games and engagement, how to get the most from your review game sessions, and several review game strategies that you can use in your class. So let's get started with our first strategy.
Kyle's right. Content review games are the way to go. But what game should I use? The right game needs to be fun, engaging, and competitive, while also challenging my students' knowledge of my curriculum. That's it! I'll use television game shows as a model for my review games. My students will love that. And I know just the one to start with. First, I'll arrange my review questions into categories and by difficulty. The more challenging the question, the more points it'll be worth. Then, I'll divide my class into 3 teams and have each team send a representative up to my contestant podiums. I'll set a time limit for each round and let this group of students solve as many clues as possible. When the time's up, each team will send up a new representative. And just for fun, I'll have my contestants answer in the form of a question. All right, pick a category, Arthur.
I'll take inventors for 300 points.
This resident of Menlo Park is credited with the invention of the light bulb.
Who is Alexander Graham Bell?
Sorry, Jasper, that is incorrect.
Who is Thomas Edison?
Correct! Way to go, Sully. That's 300 more points for your team. Okay, time's up for this round. Everyone switch out with a member of your team. I love it. All right, one more idea. Some students might not respond well to being the center of attention, so I need a game that gives them some help when the pressure is on. Got it. Who wants to be a content expert? After I divide my students into equal groups, they'll send a representative up to the hot seat to answer a question. If they get it right, another member of their team comes up to answer the next, more difficult question. If they get it wrong, we move on to another team. But I'm including some lifelines, hints to help out students who might struggle with the questions. Okay, Patrick, here's your question. What is the vitamin that builds strong bones and teeth? A, vitamin A. B, vitamin B. C, vitamin C. D, vitamin D. Don't forget about your lifelines.
Oh, right. I'll use half and half.
Okay, we can eliminate 2 of the wrong answers. Vitamin A and vitamin B are gone. Vitamin C and D remain.
Oh, I still can't decide. Can I use my other lifeline?
You sure can.
All right, I'll use Ask My Team. Uh-huh, I thought so. Vitamin D.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
You're right! Good job, Team Felt Friends. Arthur, you're next up for your team. This next question is even trickier. Ah! Oh, Kyle, you startled me.
Looks like you got some great review games there, Teach. Now, Kate's gonna tell us all about the sweet science of review. Let's take a look.
When we talk about common teaching methods, there are two that come to mind. There's traditional lecturing, which is teacher-centered and often requires students to be passive participants in the learning process. Then there's active learning, which directly involves students in the lesson and allows for exploration through problem-solving, collaboration, and games. There's growing evidence that productive gameplay in the classroom enhances student learning and outcomes. One of the benefits of playing games is that it provides students with real-life applications and experiences. Through these activities, they learn to work with others, practice taking risks, and use critical thinking, all of which are necessary cognitive and social skills that set them up for success outside of the classroom. Another benefit of using games in your classroom is that it increases student engagement, which gains and maintains their attention. When resorting to traditional passive methods of review, like flashcards or call and response, you can lose the attention of your class quickly. But when they have opportunities for movement and competition, it provides intrinsic motivation for your students to immerse themselves in the content and work together to achieve a common goal. Gameplay also helps improve memory, which is especially important for review games. When learning new content, students store that information in their short-term memory. However, if that material is not revisited regularly, then they are more inclined to forget it. Review games provide students with the opportunity to transfer previously learned knowledge into their long-term memory through practice and repetition. Strategies like review games will empower your students to become active participants in the learning process while reinforcing their understanding of the content. Remember, students will be far more inclined to remember the sensory experience of active learning rather than the hands-off approach of lecturing.
Content review games are ideal for engaging your students in the memorization process. Having variety in your review methods will keep your class hooked while ensuring they're mastering the most important parts of your curriculum. So get rid of those old flashcards and commit to helping your students learn the fun way. They'll be glad you did. This month on Launch Your Classroom, we're going to continue our discussion on content review games. The excitement and competition of review games can get a little bit intense, so we're going to cover some targeted management strategies. We're going to talk about how to get the most out of your review with study guides. Then we'll show you how to get your students involved by creating their own review. And finally, we'll have an expert interview about using the data we gather from review games. So be sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel to get all of our upcoming professional development content. Thank you, and we'll see you next time on Launch Your Classroom.
You can do it, Teach. You've trained them well.
You are all prepared for this. You know the content. Now you just need to put it on paper. And remember, regardless of what happens today, I'm proud of all of you for the effort you put in.
Yo, Teach, I did it!